You are onto the Power Circuits, a program brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. It is to keep you informed about core actions and milestones in the Nigerian electricity supply industry, NESI. I am Amara Agogoisi, and today, here are the headlines. Minister says federal government takes more initiatives to improve power sector. TCN Enugu region holds fire safety sensitization workshop. And in Kaduna region, officials take journalists on a tour of substation equipment. The Minister of Power, Chief Adebayo Adelabu, says the federal government has taken more initiatives to improve the performance of the power sector. Chief Adelabu stated this when he held a press briefing session at his office in the Federal Ministry of Power, Abuja.
The minister at the briefing said, top of the initiatives is on enhancing the power transmission system by accelerating the presidential power initiatives for the Siemens project. This move will enable the completion of the pilot phase of the project and commencement of the phase 1 to increase the transmission capacity.
Now, how do we fix our transmission infrastructure gap and evacuation lines? We are accelerating the presidential power initiatives, that's the Siemens project, with completion of the pilot phase. We have completed the pilot phase of Siemens. 10 transformers have been delivered and they have been commissioned already. That will also lead to improvement in power supply.
He also said the federal government has resolved to complete a reasonable proportion out of the over 100 ongoing TCM projects for transmission improvements while upgrading existing 330 and 132 kV transmission substations with higher capacity transformers, reactors and other accessories.
We are accelerating talks on the engineering procurement contract plus finance for the super grid project with 2 Chinese firms for the western and eastern grid for a failover and backup capacity for the national grid to achieve grid stability and capacity expansion. And we have also resolved to complete reasonable proportion of out of over 100 ongoing uncompleted TCM projects. Transmission Company of Nigeria, we have over 100 uncompleted projects that have practically been abandoned due to cost escalations from fluctuations and variations in pricing. So how can we start new projects without completing the existing uncompleted ones? So we have decided that we are going to focus on all these abandoned projects, make sure we complete them before we start new projects at TCN, because a lot of these projects were politically established. We must tell Nigerians the truth. They were politically established in the past. We have projects that's as old as 2001 project. The MD of TCN is here, I can confirm to me. 23 years old project, 15 years old project. The youngest is 2011, 2012. 11 years projects. And we have committed the country's money, but we are not even getting the benefit of this investment. We are not optimizing it. We have to. During my time, we will not tolerate this kind of a thing. And I've told the MD, we are not starting any new major project without finishing the existing project, and let's see the value they will add to the value chain. That's what we are going to do. Number 2 is, we are upgrading all our old and weak 330 kV and 132 kV transmission substations with new and higher capacity transformers, with reactors and other accessories, and start projects of reconductoring of existing aging transmission power lines. So lastly, we want to speed up intervention projects funded by loans from multilateral development banks, e.g. World Bank, AFDB, JICA and AFD, to impact our transmission infrastructure to demand centers.
For generation, he said the government has completed the 700 megawatts Sungero hydropower plant in Niger State.
So the ongoing activities in the ministry and its agencies to improve our supply, what we have started since January, all through to the end of the year. What we are doing is to augment the capacity of our hydro and thermal power plants in terms of their operational capacity, at least to achieve nothing less than 50% of capacity. Number one, we have added a new hydropower plant, which is a large hydro plant at Zungeru. It has a capacity of 700 megawatts. If this one comes in, it will be good news for Nigeria. We are also talking of financing the required infrastructure to enable complete evacuation of the 40 megawatt Kashimbila hydropower plant in Taraba State using promissory note facility at the Debt Management Office. As I'm telling you, we can only evacuate 10 megawatts out of 40. So what we are doing is to finance the completion of the infrastructure required to ensure that there's a complete evacuation of that 40. If you had additional 40 to our hydro plants, hydropower, it's also a lot. 40 megawatts is a lot. That 10 megawatt alone is servicing almost everybody around that Taraba community. But we now need to evacuate the remaining 30 megawatts to where the power is required, where the load is required.
Chief Adelabu also revealed that the federal government has moved to resuscitate 26 small and medium-sized hydro plants that were abandoned nationwide.
We are also resuscitating the abandoned 26 small and medium-sized hydro plants across the country with solar hybridization. This will adopt embedded power model with connectivity to the regional DSTV network. This is so easy. It doesn't have to go through the national grid. We have small dams with 10 megawatts, 6 megawatts, 1 megawatt across. We have one in Oyo State, Ikere Gorge Dam. We have one in Ogun State, Oyo, and we have across Nigeria. If we rehabilitate this, we are going to be supplying additional power to the states. And they don't need to go to the national grid on the 330 or 132 kV lines. They will be on the 33 kV line within the distribution network of the states. And this will be backup power. Then we are completing the 20 megawatt wind solar hybrid power plant in Katsina State. We have completed the 10 megawatts wind. We are now updating it with a solar of another 10 megawatts.
For the distribution segment, the minister also said the federal government will be directly providing transformers, poles, and power lines in underserved communities to improve supply as captured in the 2024 appropriation.
We are going to supply transformers to communities that require them. We said people must not be made to buy transformers. If DISCOs cannot provide for those communities, federal government has decided to provide transformers. And we have provision in the budget for a reasonable number of transformers that will go to our communities across the country. Then we are accelerating all our meter acquisition initiatives, harmonizing all under the presidential meter initiatives, under my oversight as the chairman, so that we can accelerate meter acquisition. We still have close to 8 million meters gap. If you don't meter, how will you bill? If you don't bill, how will you collect? These are the issues of liquidity. And this figure has remained in the last 10 years because as we are installing some meters, new connections are coming up. So the DISCOs are not satisfied with the traction the DISCOs are achieving in meter provision. So we must intervene.
It is break time. Stay with us.
$6.5 there.
Guys, I have a business that can change our lives.
Business?
Business that can change our lives.
Guys, if money is involved, I mean,
Take it.
but you don't know the kind of business.
Business is business.
Okay, my guy. Masu.
Real money. And there's a big market for it.
Wait, is it vandalism that you have brought me here to do?
Yes!
Something that can take me to jail. Something that can destroy our economy and spoil what the government wants to achieve.
Real money.
I can't. See this man. I can't.
So even
Shut up your mouth. I will never go to jail. Vandalism. God forbid. God forbid.
Look at the people I want to help.
Come here.
I beg you. Please, Oga, I beg you. I beg you. This is the handwork of the devil. Please.
Be part of our economic growth. Do not destroy electricity power installations. Do not destroy government effort to provide electricity for all. Report any suspicious person found stealing or loitering around power installations to any security operatives close to you or to the nearest transmission company of Nigeria office.
This message is brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, transmitting electricity in the most efficient and effective manner.
Safety of life, safety of property is paramount, and the Transmission Company of Nigeria TCN does not joke with this. In view of this, the Enugu Regional Headquarters of TCN has collaborated with the Federal Fire Service to hold a sensitization workshop on basics of fire safety. Here is the report.
According to a press release from the Enugu region, the General Manager Transmission at the Enugu region of TCN, Engineer Emmanuel Akpa, represented by the Principal Manager, Health, Safety and Environment at TCN, Engineer Elizabeth Obuani, at the workshop, believed that drilling the members of staff on the basics of fire safety was imperative to enhance productivity while preventing likely occurrence of fire incidents in workplaces and at home. The Enugu Regional Head of TCN was excited about the practical session of the workshop, where the participants were exposed to how to use fire extinguishers and fire blankets as first aid to control fire outbursts. The facilitator from the Federal Fire Service, Senior Fireman Frank Chiegwe, explained the stages of fire safety, which he said are preventive and could be avoided by taking protective measures. He further applauded the TCM management for ensuring safety and protection of machineries and the employees from injury as well as danger in the workplace, while maintaining safe working environment in the region.
Let's catch up after this break.
Hey! Oh my God, what caused this fire? Hey, God help us. Assuming this thing happened in the night, nobody from this building would have come out alive.
Madam, this is why we have warned landlords not to erect structures under the high voltage lines. If this high voltage line fell on the ground, nothing would have happened. But because this structure has been wrongly erected and the high voltage line fell on it, that is why whatever has happened has happened. We advise landlords to always consult the Transmission Company of Nigeria on their safety compliance on the right of way, so that something like this does not happen again.
Oga, we are talking of burnt house and you are talking of right of way. What is right of way and safety compliance?
Safety compliance simply means Before erecting any structure around any electricity tower or line, there are safety distances you must adhere to. These safety distances are 25 meters on both sides of the electric tower in the case of a 330 kV, 15 meters on both sides of the electric tower in the case of a 132 kV, and 7.5 meters on both sides of the electric tower in the case of a 33/11 kV. These stipulated safety distance instructions are what we call right of way. If these simple, basic safety distances are adhered to, trust me, there will be less loss of property and lives resulting from cut transmission lines.
Visit Transmission Company of Nigeria office nearest to you for your safety regulations before erecting structures. Let us save lives and properties and build a stronger Nigeria. This message is from the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, transmitting electricity in the most efficient and effective manner.
In the Kaduna region of TCN, management officials have taken journalists on a tour of transmission equipment and facilities in Kaduna. The region also announced its projections for delivering ongoing transmission projects.
The team at the Kaduna region of TCN took the pressmen on a tour of the 330/132/33 kV Mando transmission substation in Kaduna. Inside the control room of the substation, the Assistant General Manager Transmission at the Kaduna Sub-Region, Engineer Nasiru Mansur Fada, spoke about the essence of having state-of-art substation protection equipment and backup batteries.
When you lost like the batteries store their energy, they will do the job for us.
And when the batteries are maybe weak, we change them.
Yeah, we know what we do. That's a maintenance we usually do. Intention. What we do is we come. We switch off spotlight to this light as if there's no spotlight. We rely on batteries. We allow the battery to work for 1 hour and see can they sustain us for 1 hour. After 1 hour, if this thing didn't drop to 99, they are fast discharged. So we sleep with our eyes closed. That even if there's no fast supply, at least for 1 hour, we know that our battery is intact.
A senior manager, system operations at the Kaduna sub-region, Engineer Yusuf Musa, also explained the role of the independent system operation arm of TCN to the media men, especially in operating the national electricity grid.
When the line comes into the Mando transmission, there's another 2 lines that goes out. One goes to Kano, and from Kano it's subdivided. Some go to Jigawa State, some to Katsina State, and even to Niger Republic. But all their source is here in Kaduna. And there's another one also that emanated from here to Jos. From Jos it gets to Bauchi. From Bauchi it gets to Gombe. From Gombe it's split into 3. One goes to Maiduguri, one goes to Yobe State, and one goes to Adamawa State, and even to Tarawa State. So, but all their source is here in Kaduna.
With the critical power transmission lines stemming from Kaduna, the Kaduna transmission region is a quite sensitive section of the national grid.
So as you can see, we transmit power into almost all part of the northern Nigeria.
This is the heartbeat.
Yeah, it's the heartbeat. So Kaduna is very sensitive in terms of transmission. It is 24-hour service.
Non-stop, like a wristwatch.
Non-stop, yes. We run shift here. As you can see, I'm on morning duty now. So 6 o'clock in the evening, my colleague will come and take over from me and do the night duty till tomorrow morning.
Talking about safety, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, makes it a first-place priority across all its regions.
Without safety here, this is one of our core values here. It is one that is keeping us alive. Once you don't observe safety, you are prone to get injury and even destroy machine or even destroy your body. So it's one of our core values. We have the safety department here, and also we have been taught is part of our training to know and follow the rules and regulations on safety. Before we get into the switcher, we make sure that we wear our hard hat We wear hand gloves, we wear safety boots, and also this kind of jacket that can protect the radiation, and also the suture. There are some metals, and the suture is not that smooth, so it will protect your leg and your body. So it will protect you from the radiation. Actually, we walk there and retire peacefully. There is no any radiation or anything that can affect us.
You live long.
We live long. As normal any other person.
Beside the tour, the General Manager Transmission at the Kaduna region of TCN, Engineer Ganiyu Aliyu, outlined the projections of TCN in the region around deliverables of new power transmission substation projects.
At Malta is just behind us here. We want to put 2 by 60 MVA. If we put 2 by 60 MVA, all the areas in Rigasa down to this Kabbalah West, we will relieve the power we are supplying them from here, so that substation will take care of this area. Then of course, at the one I mentioned to you about New Sokoto, we want to put 2 by 150 MVA, 2 by 60 at 122. Then we want to construct that cargo in Kebbi State. We want to put 2 by 150 at 330 and 2 by 60 at 132.
As we wrap up this edition, here are the headlines. Minister says federal government takes more initiatives to improve power sector. TCN Enugu region holds fire safety sensitization workshop. And in Kaduna region, officials take journalists on a tour of substation equipment. The TCN management urges you to support its campaign against vandalism and encroachment of the right-of-way of power transmission installations. Keep playing your role while you get more information about the sole power transmission utility firm in Nigeria as you subscribe to the TCN YouTube channel, TCN_Nigeria. We implore you to support TCN on Facebook as you like the page Transmission Company of Nigeria. You can also follow TCN on X, formerly Twitter, via @TCN_Nigeria. Experience TCN and its activities on Instagram as you click TCN_Nigeria. The company is prompt in responding to emails, so please take advantage of this via affairs.public@tcn.org.ng. You can also learn more about the company's activities on the interactive website www.tcn.org.ng. There is also www.tcnnews.ng, where you get more varieties of reports about TCN. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, appreciates your support as you join in the surveillance and strategic actions against vandals of power transmission assets. I am Amara Agogoisi, and together, let's keep the power sector active and growing.